Welcome back to the Beantown Sports Hub. I have crazy news for you today about a major Patriots trade that could be coming in the near future. You can probably tell who I'm talking about based on the thumbnail and news cycle, but it's none other than Coach Bill Belichick. As a quick recap of the current situation, Belichick is widely known to be the greatest NFL coach of all time and can be largely thanked for building the Patriots dynasty we know and love. But the team has been floundering in the past few years since Brady left, leading to many fans and commentators calling for Bill to step down and allow a new generation of talent to take over. Last week on the Pat McAfee Show, sports commentator Dan Orlovsky entered the conversation to announce that he was privy to some inside information about the negotiations Belichick has been having with other teams in the league, leading to lots of speculation among the fan base. The story has grown further since then because, 3 days ago, Dan Orlovsky actually called into the WEEI Sports News radio show to elaborate on his secret information. And that is what I want to talk about today. So without further ado, let's roll the tape.
Dan, I can't let this go. So if you heard about the rumor that there was a destination already in play, did you hear the specific destination? Did you hear the specific franchise, or was it just, and he knows where he's going?
Yeah, I think I heard like a couple different places that were potentially attached. They're not going to be shocking to anybody because they're places that have had, kind of like question marks at the head coach attached to them throughout this season, I would say.
That's
it's not the
clue.
Baltimore Ravens, right? They're not moving on from their coach. Again, if you sit down and say, what teams do we think at least maybe entertaining moving on from their coach? I would say this: if I was an organization and I was going to move on from my coach or end up moving on from my coach, and I know that Bill Belichick has the potential to be a part of that coaching cycle conversation, I would certainly want to make a call, of course.
So Dan Orlovsky is clearly not allowed to give a straight answer to the public, probably because he is contractually barred from doing so. But what he does do is give some pretty good hints at the teams involved. If you rewind the clip, he says that the teams involved in negotiations with Bill are the few teams in the league that are actively looking to drop their current head coaches. If we narrow down the list of teams to those with head coaches on the way out, we get the Washington Commanders, the Chicago Bears, and the LA Chargers. What I want to do is look at these three teams individually, and for each one, give my 2 cents on why they are being considered and the likelihood of them being Bill's new home. First, let's look at the Bears, who are currently coached by Matt Eberflus. Eberflus is in his second year as the team's head coach, and he carries an abysmal 6-21 career record. The Bears began the current season with 4 straight losses, triggering rumors that the team's owners were considering the possibility of dropping Eberflus. These rumors were actually somewhat dropped after the team went 3-3 on their following 6 games. So now it's only up to the public speculation on whether or not the team will choose to drop the Eberflus. I'm personally of the opinion that the Bears owners will be giving Eberflus a second chance and allowing him to coach in the 2024 season, only because he has somewhat managed to save their season from ending in a complete disaster. There are still plenty of games to be played, however, so it is worth keeping an eye on the Bears for the upcoming weeks. The next team I want to look at is the Washington Commanders, coached by Ron Rivera. The Commanders are off to a 4-6 start to the season, which is not horrible, currently ranking 24th in the league of 32 teams. This below-average performance would not normally raise any alarm bells, however. The interesting reason the Commanders are in the conversation is that the team was bought by Josh Harris earlier this year. Harris has not made any public statements about the matter, but it's widely understood that he is considering the possibility of taking the Commanders in a different direction that does not involve Rivera. This team is certainly a strong contender, and there are plenty of fans who are voicing their support for this outcome. However, I'm not totally convinced due to the third option. The final contender for Bill Belichick is the LA Chargers, currently coached by Brandon Staley. Staley is only on his 3rd year as the head coach with the Chargers, having just replaced Anthony Lynn in 2021. The problem with Staley is that he was initially hired due to his background as the LA Rams' 2020 defensive coordinator, all because the Chargers were universally known for having a dog-water defense. Despite this, Staley has completely and utterly failed at putting together a competent Chargers defense, and the numbers back it up because in the 3 games where the Chargers scored over 30 points, they only won 1 game. To put that into perspective, the rest of the league has gone 64-9 in games where they scored over 30 points, implying that the Chargers have a decent offense with a completely incompetent defense. It's widely assumed that Staley will be fired at the end of the season. And this is important because Bill Belichick has a deep and rich history as the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets and Giants in the 90s. If I were a betting man, I would say that Belichick will likely become the new head coach of the LA Chargers for next season. And now I want to pass these questions off to you. Do you think that Belichick is likely to become the LA Chargers head coach next year, or is there another team to consider that was not mentioned in this video? I read all of my comments, and am looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Also, if you learned anything new, it would be awesome if you liked the video and subscribed to the channel.